Well, I am back in the polytunnel, and today I am going to show you a magic trick to do with this here pile. But then I want to be showing you some of the progress on my seedlings and tell you just exactly how you know when they either need potting on or planting out. But I'll come back to that in a minute, because if you are anything like me, you will have stashed your netting in the corner of a shed or a polytunnel, or somewhere where you don't have to look at it or even acknowledge it for several months over the winter. And then it comes to spring and you see your first couple of butterflies and you think, oh, I'm going to have to cover my crops. And you get your netting out and you're stuck with something that looks a bit like this. Well, no more, because I have got a nifty way of tidying all this up and sorting it out. So if I can remember how to do it, I'll show you. This could be where it all falls apart. I mean, you walk along and you pick up all sorts in the net, don't you? Right, how on earth do I find the short bit of this one? Well, I don't. Oh no, there we go. So this is going to need a little bit more folding double. So it's when you start thinking, is there an exact science? I know there isn't. Look at this. Oh my goodness me. Right, okay, fold again. And go away, wind. Right, fold again. So you just want it wide enough that you can get it around your arm. You make your first loop by doing it. How do we do it? Yeah, just put your hands through. If you've ever done any hand arm crochet, I imagine it's probably quite similar to that. Right, that loop is too tight. So how am I going to get another one through there? Okay, let's try another one. I'm just going to make lots of loops this time. Okay, so I've got, God, have you taken this in? That wrapped around there, I'm grabbing that and I'm pulling it through. Hey, it's working, it's working. So each time you pull a loop through, hands in there, grab a load of netting. It doesn't really matter if it's not nice and flat, which is just as well. There, look at that. It's just so pleasing to do. And when, believe you me, when it comes to pulling your netting out to go on which bed, and they've all got tangled together, at least now they're separate, they're being separate piles. I mean, they're still not very pretty, but look at that. Last loop. How quick was that to do? She says, look at that. I mean, that's got to look a bit better. It takes up a heck of a lot less room as well. So have a go. Let me know in the comments below how you get on, and I'll go in there and show you my broad beans. And if you enjoyed that and you never want to miss another fantastic gardening tip, don't forget to press the subscribe button, give us a like and press the notification bell. Oh my goodness, it is warm in here today. It is 35.7 centigrade, whatever that is. I'll tell you what it is. 96.3 Fahrenheit. Right, that's why it's a little bit warm. I was going to let the chickens in here, and I will do when it's a bit cooler, because the ground, because we haven't grown in here over the winter, unlike Mike's polytunnel, which looks amazing at the moment. The ground gets quite compacted and quite dry, so I am going to let them in here for a little bit of a scratch about, but not today. But today, what I want to do, let me just show you first. Remember those peas that I sowed last time in the gutter? Woo! Remember, they've been hanging, I can just out of sight there, in the polytunnel for a good few years, and I didn't even know if they were still valid. And yes, there's a few gaps, but I don't think it's mice or anything. I think they're just very, very old seeds. So dead pleased with those. I'll do another sowing in a couple of weeks. But what I'm really excited about are my broad beans. Now, these are Karmazin, the red broad bean, and they were sown 8th of February, so about 6 weeks ago now. And the most straightforward way that you can tell if your seedlings need to be moved on is to just pick them up, look underneath, and you will see this sort of carry on. Those roots have escaped through the hole. Now these are the container-wise trays, so they've got quite a nice big hole at the bottom. If they didn't, you might find that your roots start to go round and round the cell that they're in or the pot that they're in. But once they have come like that, that is ready to move them on. Now broad beans are really, really hardy, so they are okay to plant outside. But let me just show you an example. These are some, what are they? Cosmos that I transplanted the other day, and these are nowhere near. And once I see roots starting to come out the bottom, I'll know that they're ready to pot on as well. But if I just show you, I planted some of these out on, let me just see, 1, 2, 3, 4 days ago, and I can just show you the difference that it makes when you get them at exactly the right time to be potted on or planted out. It can make such a difference to their growth. You know, that's my garlic bed, Rocky. Okay, so like I say, these were potted on a few days ago. I did put on Instagram. I wasn't sure if they would survive or not because A, slugs, and B, pigeons. But I put this, can you see me? I don't know if you can. I put a load of thorny cuttings, I'll come back to cuttings in a minute, around each plant. And, you know, I don't know if they've done any good, but they haven't been nibbled. But if you look at, let's just see, this, I'll just move that. Of course, this will come really, really annoying when it comes to weeding. But if I show you that one, and I'm going to pop this one out here, you can see that one next to it. It doesn't look that much bigger, but for 3 days, the fact it's only been in there 3 more days, the leaves look bigger, they look stronger, they are not as floppy. I think it's quite amazing. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get the rest of these in and then show you how I'm going to cover them. There we go. I took a little bit closer towards the end because I realised I was running out of room, but I've got a few left here that I'll pass on to Mike. Right, the next step is twofold really, because what I'm going to be doing is not just sticking a load of sticks in the soil. You'll know what I mean when you see this. Right, okay. Not am I only going to be deterring the pigeons and things from landing a little bit, but you'll see in a minute what else this will do. If I could do with 5 canes, and I've only got 4 for each side. I'll have more in the shed somewhere. I'll go and get them later. She says, does later ever come? It's a bit like tomorrow, but yeah, get them in nice and sturdy there. And then the other side. It's just one of those jobs. It's quite nice to get out the way. By the way, I would not dream of putting anything else that isn't frost hardy out yet. We're in zone 8, so it means our last frost is about 6 weeks away, around about mid-May. So it's only because broad beans are frost tender that I can put them out. So don't suddenly think, oh, Jane's put her beans out, we can put our tomatoes out. I'm getting a lot of cross comments if so. Right, okay. So before I do anything else, and you're all shouting at the screen, yes, I will protect my eyes. Now, time will tell whether these will stay on. I've got some little terracotta pots as well, which are a bit heavier, which tend to stay on a bit better. But for now, for the next bit of this, they're going to protect my eyes. These could have been a bit shorter as well, but never mind. The other thing I've been doing, I've noticed in the last week really, that the pond is really, really starting to come back to life. And I've been playing around with a bit of slow motion. And it's only a few seconds. And what got me was just, I was practicing something on my camera just by the pond, but I did it on slow motion. And when I watched it back, it was beautiful, especially the bees. But when I listened to it, It's incredible. It sounds like we're in a jungle. I mean, how unusual is that? It makes you think how other animals and other insects and things see our world. We think everything sees it the same and it all sounds the same, but I thought that was quite amazing. Anyway, what I'm doing here is getting stuck in some string. I'm basically I'm not just wrapping, I am going to loosely tie the string around each of these poles. And the purpose for this, I'm going to do it a little bit lower down actually, because the purpose is, I'll tighten that when I come round. Not only might it deter things from landing on the top, but it will support the broad beans as they grow up and through the string. So we won't have to put a cane next to each bean. I mean, if you're only doing a few beans, that's absolutely fine. But in this case, I'd rather just put a few stakes in either side and do it this way. Right, I'll come back to you when I'm done. If you'd have told me even a month ago that I'd be stood at my beloved table here about to show you a gadget and gush about how good I thought it was, then I don't know, I would have offered to eat so many hats. But the truth is, it has been the time of year where there has been a lot of pruning going on. We've still got to prune the plums and the damsons, with them being a stone fruit, but the apple trees weren't given a really good go last year. So this year I have been up the ladder, I've been up the little rickety step ladders, and I have been using my trusty left-handed secateurs and very good but also very heavy loppers. So when I got an email from a company offering me to try out some power pruners, I was a bit half-hearted, to be honest, because for one, they're a gadget, and if you know me at all, you will know I'm not a fan of gadgets. If you can do something on your own, why do you need a gadget to do it for you? But also because, believe you me, you get offered so much stuff that has frankly got nothing whatsoever to do with your channel. You know, if I promoted the amount of doggy bandanas or sunglasses that I had told that my channel is a perfect fit for, I don't know, you'd never watch me again. But these just happened to come along at the right time, and I must admit, I think I'm a bit in love. Okay, so these are the PRUNARBO secateurs. They're power secateurs, and the great thing is they come with not just one but two batteries. So if you've got a whole load of pruning to do, if one battery runs out of charge, you've always got a backup. It comes with two batteries, it comes with a power lead, it comes with a little oil can, if you like, and some tools for general maintenance of your secateurs, and it even comes with a spare blade. But before we get on to all that, let me just show you what it is that they are really, really good at. Now, I must admit, from an early age, I've had a bit of a fear of power tools because I've seen so many silly films in the past, misspent youth, of where power tools just come to life on their own and go and chop people up and that sort of thing. So yeah, I never quite trust them. But all we need to do, make sure that that battery fits nice and snug. We've got this red button. Can be a little bit temperamental, but it does the trick. As you slide it in, it will click. Then you've got a power button. See if you can hear it. That means it's ready. And then you can press the trigger and it will open, and the good thing is it will open to the equivalent of 50 millimeters, so it can cut a 2-inch diameter branch, which really is, you know, it's too much for my secateurs. It's okay for the loppers, but you'll see how powerful it is in a minute. Okay, I must admit, let me get out my own shadow. I've already cut this buddleia back quite a lot, but it flowers on new wood. So I'm going to get rid of this stick here, and all I need to do... Oh God, that went before I realised it. Okay, and I didn't have my hand in my pocket. Oh my goodness, that just shows how powerful that is. How quick was that? And look, oh, beautiful, nice clean cut. Right, let's do some more. Now, another thing to say, once these have made a cut, if they are left for 15 seconds, oh Jane, put your hand in your pocket. If they are left for 15 seconds, they will go into standby. Is that 50? No, if they're left for 60 seconds, they'll go into standby. If they're left for 15 minutes, they'll be off. So these, oh my goodness. Let's do this one. Oh, poor tree. Oh my goodness, wow. Let's just do a little one. I don't need it to be on 50 mil there, but wow, okay. I'm going to have to take my hand out of my pocket to look at that. I mean, that is pretty nifty. Right, okay. But Jane, what are you going to do about these branches up here? I'll show you, because there's a nifty accessory, which, you know, considering I've been talking about safety, it's actually going to be a lot safer than me lugging around these really rickety old step ladders and a pair of very heavy loppers. So let me show you. Right, the very next bit, let me turn this off. There we go, of our nifty little kit, she says. I'm not quite sure when they close, because obviously you can't leave them like that, and when I picked them up again before, they were closed. So I'll leave them like that for a minute. They can't do anything, can they? Because they haven't got a battery in, unless you believe those films. Right, they come with this very handy extension rod, which means hopefully I am going to be able to get this tall enough and not too unwieldy to reach the top of the tree, or at least where I need the branches to come off. So literally, that just didn't stick, did it? Why didn't that stick? You pull and that should snap that shut. A little bit of work to do there, I think. There we are. And it will extend to, now this is an issue. There must be something I'm doing wrong here. What am I doing wrong? Because I've done this at home and it worked. Yeah, I would think that needs to snap in a little bit more. Ah, there's a screw. There is a screw. Right, so it's my fault. User error. There's a little screw on this side that you can tighten it. And let's just hope now that that is, yeah, that's it. This goes on here because, and this was another feature I really liked about it, you can tilt it. You can tilt it. There's a little button you push there and it will let you, let me show you, it will let you angle that to the position you need to be in. So I think I'm going to go for that angle, and then yeah, that clicks on, you heard that click, and now she says it's perfectly safe to use. Okay, let's give it a go. Of course, it does have a transfer switch here, which is as easy as turning it to on, turning it to off, and that transfers all the usage, if you like, all the power, all the stuff that you've got to do, like squeezing the trigger, down from the pruners themselves into the rod. Here we go. There is a trigger on the base of the rod. I'm just going to take that one first. Of course, it shut itself down. Oh, I missed. Thank you. Has that one gone in? Oh yes, maybe a hard hat would also be good. Sorry, prune tree, you're going to have to wait. Not prune, plum. Not even plum damson. Oh goodness. Oh, this is dangerous, isn't it? Oh, this is good though. I love it. I love the feeling of just being able to get on with something without all the faff. Oh, look at that. Look at that. And then this one, because that's a crossing branch. Yep, they're still crossing though. Oh dear, they're getting shorter and shorter, aren't they? Right, last but not least, what I want to show you. Let's move those old loppers out the way, bless them, they've done a good job. Let me show you just how quick it then is to chop up what you've already pruned. Okay, a few bits of apple, a little bit of buddleia. I have got to have my hand out of my pocket here because I'm going to raise the branch, but just watch this. Want it a bit smaller, sir? Maybe a bit smaller, maybe a bit bigger. Okay, you can see just how quick I'm moving my hand up. This is to get rid of all those prunings. Now, if like us, you've got a wood stove at home, they've just gone everywhere, haven't they? You might want to make it perfect as kindling for your wood stove, or even if you've got a tent stove in your shed. Okay, the verdict from someone who until very recently was terrified of power tools. I really like them. I think they are brilliant for jobs that are just slightly too big for your loppers, awkward jobs that are difficult to reach, especially with their extension pole. I particularly love the way that you can take a whole load of prunings, you know, that you've taken from your tree and chop them down to condense them. That I think is going to be a real bonus because honestly, we have got so many branches on the ground here. So yes, they are very, very useful. What I will say is they are an expense, so be prepared. If you go and look at the description below, be prepared for the price. But if you're looking at something that is going to benefit your pruning for the next 5, 10, 15 years, then I would say these are worth a shot. Have a little think about the extension rod as well, because that makes things a lot easier. Let me know in the comments below, what do you do with your broad beans? Did you overwinter them? What variety are you growing? Have you put them out yet? And also, how do you protect them? I'd be really, really interested to know. But for now, it's bedtime for chickens. I'll see you again soon.